So here are 3 practical steps that will help you to stay grounded, bounce back quicker, and lead with strength when that pressure is on. And stick with me because by the end, you'll have a resilience game plan you can actually use the next time life throws you curveball. So let's start with the first one. So staying connected to your purpose. Second, resilience doesn't happen in isolation. Use your network. And the third, and this was the most crucial, prioritize self-care. See, life doesn't care about your plans, right? One moment, everything's smooth sailing, and the next thing you know, you're hit with a challenge at work, at home, or both. And here's what you need to know. How you respond in those moments will define your leadership, your impact, and honestly, your future. So let's go back to step 1, staying connected to your purpose. When challenges hit hard, purpose is your anchor. And if you lose sight of it, you're going to start drifting. So I'll give you an example. During my last deployment, I hit a wall. Stress, setbacks, being away from family, it all weighed heavy. Add in during this time, COVID restrictions, isolation, and then, he had that constant uncertainty and I felt drained. But here's what pulled me through. It's reminding myself that my mission was bigger than the moment. My purpose, protecting my family, serving my team, that was the fuel that kept me moving forward. So let me ask you, when life presses you, what's the purpose that keeps you standing? If you don't know, it's time to get clear because when everything else feels shaky, it's your purpose that will be that one thing that keeps you steady. So for this, write down your why. Post it somewhere. Post it somewhere you can see it daily and let it remind you who you are and why you do what you do. Okay, number 2, resilience doesn't happen in isolation. Leaders, especially high achievers, fall into this trap of thinking that we have to carry it all alone. And I've been there. I used to believe, asking for help, it was a sign of weakness. But the shift is, strong leaders, they don't just give support, they receive it when it's needed. So your support network, mentors, friends, colleagues, even like a mastermind group, these are just people to lean on when you're struggling. They're fuel for your resilience. So think about this. How often do you isolate yourself when you're under pressure? What if instead you leaned in and reached out? So text one person in your support circle. It doesn't have to be something deep. Just say, hey, I appreciate you. Let's catch up soon. Those little connections will strengthen your resilience more than you realize. All right, the third thing, and most important, prioritize self-care. Now, before you roll your eyes, self-care isn't a luxury. It's definitely a leadership necessity. Because if you're running on fumes, you're not leading at your best. And when you're not leading at your best, it's going to be your team, your family. They're all going to feel it. So for me, journaling became my safe space during those, overwhelming times. It helped me to process stress, clear my head, and realign my energy. Even now, it's a daily practice for me. Now, for you, that could just be an exercise, a simple walk without a phone, or even a few minutes of just staying still. The point is you can't pour from an empty cup. So pick one small daily practice, just 5 minutes. And maybe it's just self-reflection. Maybe it's just movement. Commit to it for 1 week and just notice the difference in your energy and then also your focus. So here's the bottom line. Challenges are inevitable, but burnout, that's an option. Resilience doesn't mean that you never struggle. It just means that you learn to, anchor in your purpose and lean in on your people. And most importantly, take care of yourself, right? So you can be better and lead stronger. So the next time life throws you a curveball, are you going to crumble or are you going to rise and become resilient? All right, y'all. Until next time, stay real, be intentional, and keep leading with your heart.